Hello traders, welcome to today's video. It is Monday the 8th of January 2024. This is your Bitcoin update. And yeah, what can I say about the chart right now? We're heading into the great unknown. We have inevitable news coming this week, whether that will be an ETF being approved, being denied, being delayed once again. We simply don't know. And all we can do right now is speculate as to what the market is going to do. I see very little reason for Bitcoin to break out of the range that it's currently in until we get some solid news. It's just hovering within this, a couple of percent range. Altcoins bleeding out. And yeah, just generally not a whole lot going on. So one of those weeks where I think just sitting on your hands, being patient, maybe looking at whether there are any other opportunities elsewhere, starting to strategize for various options becomes probably the best play. So what we know so far, right, is that so Wednesday the 10th is when we have our first ETF deadline. Okay, so this is the ARK Invest deadline that is on the 10th of January on Wednesday. So we are inevitably going to get news then. We may even get some news today, and it could even be the case that this ARK ETF is even trading at some point this week. It won't take long to turn around this stuff. I don't know all the information, but I have heard that it is possible for an ETF, after everything has been accepted and everything has gone through the normal channels, that it can start to trade the following day. Now, my gut is telling me that we probably see further delays, or we see an approval with certain amendments, and that the 15th of March is really the date that we've got to be looking at here, which is when all of the bigger deadlines are coming up. However, what we also know today is that there have been a number of filings from, let's bring this all back on, from Valkyrie, from BlackRock, from Van Eck, from ARK, which is due this week. There have been a number of filings with the SEC today, this morning, as there was a deadline for further amendments. So if you, if you go onto the SEC website, you can see where these filings are. So I'll just bring this up. This is on the SEC Gov website, the archives. This one here was filed. If I go back here, you can see at 6 a.m. this morning, Eastern time. And this is the final amendment for the ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF. So this is it. This is the final document that is going to be potentially approved or denied or whatever's going to go on. You can see that up if you just search on Twitter for Bitcoin ETF dates or Bitcoin ETF filings. There are some good accounts on there that share this kind of information. And we'll link you to that. So it's worth knowing, okay, this is stuff that has been filed today. There is also a Grayscale one that has also been filed today, and so on. So we do know that there is the potential that we could get news if these little amendments have worked out, and maybe today could be the day, with everyone expecting Wednesday, that we do see some news. But again, it's all speculation. So what can we say about the chart? We're holding the POC. What we've done so far today is just chop around this weekly open. Okay, weekly open last night. We've had that little test of it, and we're gradually moving higher. Now, there are levels that we can be aware of. All right, so where we are at this very moment is at the value area high of this entire range. There's still value, maybe balance, to be made below here. So if price does continue to float up a little bit higher, take out some internal highs, it would be reasonable to expect that we come back down to towards that yearly level once again, and we just find the price starts to settle there. We've also got this high volume node around at $42,000. Alternatively, okay, internal highs, things to be aware of. I would be very surprised if previous week high or previous week low gets taken. However, you can look to internal levels. If we're going to drop down, you've got previous week EQ around that yearly level. If we drop lower than that, you've got your value area low. And then, of course, we've got these previous range lows down here at 40,500 that could also be a target. So yeah, just expecting a lot of this, maybe some random little wicks and stuff like that going on without very much method to the madness of what we're probably going to see this week. When it comes to legacy markets, there's a little bit of a better read. So for those of you who are in the crew, I think maybe NASDAQ is potentially what I'll be focusing on this week. We do, of course, have CPI and PPI data on Thursday and Friday. So not only do we have inevitable updates on the Bitcoin ETF, we also have the first set of major economic data coming in of the year so far. The next 2 days after that. So it is likely that we see some craziness. Now, if I was just to say a bias right now, or what I am mainly planning to do, I'm probably just going to remain flat and just take little scalp trades. But I am considering the option of basically a fairly delta neutral strategy across Bitcoin and altcoins, having seen the weakness from altcoins recently and having seen the rise in Bitcoin dominance that we've got at the moment. A long Bitcoin short alts play could be a possibility. If we are to get an ETF being approved, then that will likely lead to a Bitcoin move up on Bitcoin. But at the same time, that is also likely to drain the altcoins as all of the money flows in to Bitcoin. So with altcoin BTC pairs getting wrecked, it's probably unlikely that their USD pair, their USD valuation will be able to remain stable or continue to go higher as well. So a long Bitcoin short alt strategy could work out. And then the nice thing about that is if it's rejected or anything else, then even if Bitcoin dumps, okay, and you get stopped out of any long on Bitcoin, you're then short on alts, Ethereum, other assets that are showing relative weakness at the moment against BTC. So that would be probably the safest play within the market right now, would be to be neutral in terms of like dollar value. And yeah, then if the market dumps, alts are going to dump harder, which means realistically you should still profit. Even if you're losing on the Bitcoin trade, you should be making more from the alts going down even more, if that makes sense. I certainly wouldn't be long alts short Bitcoin right now because I think that's just a lose-lose situation with the way the market is. But we never know. We never know what's going to happen. So that's kind of where I'm at this week. It's just a waiting game. I'm not going to hype anything up. I'm not going to say that we're going to get some crazy volatility going into that, or that I have a strong conviction in any way. It's just that's what's going on. And that is the market that we currently have at the moment. And it'll be nice when we finally have some clarity. But that might need to wait until March. So, yeah, you can probably tell I'm just, I don't know. So, on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you all have a fantastic week, regardless of what happens within the markets. And do keep an eye out on Twitter, on YouTube. I'll be doing some live streams, especially as we come into like proper news releases later on in the week. And yeah, for those of you in the crew, back to doing the trading rooms, back to doing all of those kind of things. We've got some fun stuff lined up. And yeah, hopefully the market just does something that we can trade. Because right now there's not a whole lot that we can do, at least on the Bitcoin chart. So anyway, this has been 10 minutes of waffling on. And the too long, didn't read, too long, didn't listen. Summary of this is, we don't know. It's the great unknown. I'm flat on the market. So thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.